Hello and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be trying to make my opponents quit magic. No fun for my opponents in this video. I'm playing this deck called Azorius Tempo, although that might be incorrect. This deck was piloted by Aven Faust at the last PT to a top 8 finish? Top 8 finish, yeah. Where he lost to Lessons, although I rewatched the match and he got pretty unlucky in the last game, drew like 12 lands or something. It was brutal to watch, and I think this deck is quite great. I don't know if it should be called Azorius Tempo. I think Aven himself said that he preferred to go with like Prison or something like that, or just called it based on the name of the card, that it's the best card in the deck, and that is High Noon. This deck is basically built around High Noon. You are going to be looking for this card in your opening hands, and you want to get it into play, because once your opponent can play only one spell each turn, that is going to make all your cards quite a bit better. Most importantly, these two 3-drops, Aven Interrupter and Aang's Savior, which are quite similar. You basically, whenever your opponent plays their first spell of the turn, you can cast one of these and kind of like counter the spell for this turn, which means they can't play any more spells this turn, right? So this is pretty huge. You're basically just trying to get High Noon into play and then playing Aang's Savior and Aven Interrupter, ideally over and over again, which helps. The Sky Coach Conductor helps with that. This is a card that you can play on your turn, you get into play, it comes into play prepared, and then you can flicker or one of these two options, and that is basically going to stop your opponents from playing any more spells. And then you also have the Voice of Victory, which is great here because it prevents your opponent from playing spells on your turn. Once again, that works quite well with High Noon because your opponent, you'll be able to play spells both on your turn and your opponent's turn because you have a lot of cards with Flash, and your opponent will not have that option. So that's another great card against decks like Prowess, Lessons. They really want to play on instant speed, and this stops them from doing that. The rest of the deck, you have some other great option. You have Quantum Riddler, which does work pretty well with the Sky Coach Conductor, although it has never come up for me, I believe. It is a nice combo, but basically this is kind of like a finisher. It's a very powerful card. You know, we've all seen that in the standard, and it can be played for 2 or 5 mana, which is kind of nice in this deck. You are just like trying to, quite often you're just trying to play like a 2-drop on your turn and 3-drop on your opponent's turn, or 2-drop and 2-drop, etc. So having this be basically like a modal spell where you can pick which option you choose, it's kind of nice. Then we have the Avatar's Wrath that also works well with this deck. Obviously, if you exile your opponent's like 4 creatures and they're only able to play 1 spell a turn, that is quite good. And since you are taking turns off in the early game to cast High Noon, that doesn't immediately impact the board. You kind of need this card to catch up, especially against all the cup decks. And we also have Beza, which can help us catch up in the tempo, which, like I said, you are falling a bit behind in the early turns. You don't have that many well, I mean, you have only one drop, which is Spell Snare. You really don't have that many cheap spells. This time, there's crazy amount of power on turn 1. There's Grand, Storm Chaser Stand, Llanowar Elves. You do need to be, you need to catch up the tempo sometimes, and Beza helps you with that. Then we have Urban Ascension, which also is a removal that works well with your Aang's Savior and Aven Interrupter. Once again, kind of like a 5th Sky Coach Conductor in that vein. And then we have Got Lost, which is a versatile removal spell. And of course, Floodpit's Drowner, cheap flash spell that will delay your opponent. Perfect in a tempo shell like this. We've seen this in Dimmer Midrange. This card is just great. And then we have the mana base. In the mana base, we have Restless Anchorage, which is kind of nice. I'm a little surprised to see only one of these. I would play at least like 2. I think with High Noon in play, it is kind of nice to just have a land that can turn into a creature and basically something to spend your mana on. Then we have Starting Town and Multiverse Passage, which I think are kind of important to point out here, because you have the second ability of High Noon. Sacrifices the Judgment, it deals 5 damage to any target. This comes up a lot. Like, you are a tempo deck, you are just trying to get your opponent down to 5, and then you can just burn them out with High Noon. So these will be your red sources. More often than not, it's going to be the Starting Town. And that is kind of why we are playing out. I think otherwise you might not need it, right? The blue-white mana base is quite good with Hull Fountain, Food for Merge, Restless Anchorage. So you have a lot of dual lands, but I think you need the Starting Town to have the High Noon mana. And then we have Abandoned Temple. I'm singing praises of this card all the freaking time. Amazing. Even in this deck, getting these creatures out of the range of burn spells happens quite often, and it's very, very solid. In sideboard, I want to highlight Petrified Hamlet. That is an awesome card here because of Basing Say, most importantly. This deck, again, you are just trying to like beat your opponent out of the stack if your opponent can't play spells, which basically happens quite often with this deck. And they have Basking Sight, they can just make a 2/2 each turn, which is hard to beat for you actually, because you don't get on board that much. So I think this is a great deck. I honestly am thinking about playing this card in my lesson sideboard as well, because Basking Sight is a hell of a card, and it just stops it. So I think that's pretty great. The rest of the sideboard, I don't know if there's anything that important that we need to talk about. We've seen all these sideboard cards before. But yeah, that's basically it for the Decktech. I think this deck is very good. It has a strong potential. I'm definitely considering this for my RC Prague deck. So I'll be working a bit more on this deck, especially like learning how to play with it, because it's kind of an unintuitive deck and definitely a very interesting one. And yeah, I think it's pretty good at making your opponents hate their life. I mean, just watch the video, but I did get some early concessions earlier than I normally would see in this video. All right, thanks for hanging out. Please like and subscribe to this video. It really does help with the growth of the channel. I'll be back with more content soon. Alrighty, I think this is a keeper. I do have High Noon, so the key card in the deck. It's basically what the deck is called after. I do have this beautiful art, Restless Anchorage. I do love this art. Alright, so probably just jamming High Noon turn 2. I think it's just guy control. Okay, maybe I'll change my mind because this feels like I got lost. So I'll just pass. I'll try to land my Footpiece Drowner. Ooh, Maba thinks that I'm playing Blue-Eye Control. Against Blue-Eye Tempo, I'm 100% sure that I'm not wasting this Lightning Helix. Ooh, okay, it's the black version, so inevitable defeat in our future. Alright, there's the fire magic. I'm just gonna jam the High Noon. I don't know how much it's gonna stop my opponent from developing. Tablet is pretty good. And they get a land with it as well, so that's pretty cool. Pretty nice. Definitely playing this and just passing. Could just play the Aang. I think I will just play the Aang. This is not looking great. Mappa has a big card mana advantage. We'll see if they turn that into card advantage, because I could get Cheska Revelation here. But I feel like it's gonna be kind of hard to play around. Oh yeah, it is the Revelation. Covering the bonds and dealing for here. I don't know. I feel like I just kind of am behind in this game. I need to take risks. Maybe I should have played the High Noon, because countering this would have been kind of nice. But this does seems like potentially bad matchup game 1. Post board, it's gonna improve for me, I believe. Possibly not that much. Uh-oh, Mistrise Village, that's quite good. So this is the blue-red Converger deck I guess it's now just Guy Converge. I will just... warp this. I completely forgot how the ability is called. I was like, what the hell is this called? Yeah, it's warp. I don't see how I win. It'd be quite hard. I mean, the one nice thing is that opponent can play on one spell per turn. I don't know what's this. It's like Wrath or... mean, I don't really care about this uncounterable thing. Because I have my Aven Interrupter ready. Alright. I can't play any more spells this turn. It's fine. I think I just need to play this. Uh-oh. Is this a counter spell? Let's console the star charts for 2? Holy. Alright. That's not looking good. Okay, at least I has both my mana up. I don't know if that's gonna do anything for me, but I mean, this Knights of the Riddler doesn't die to the together as 1, but even like together as 1 for 5. Oh, I guess they can't cast it for 5. Oh, that's interesting. I kind of forgot about that. That's pretty funny. Like mutilating Helix. Throws 2. No, that's pretty good. Alright, I'm just attacking. Inevitable defeat. It's good. Alright, I'll just play second Riddler. I'm gonna have basically a hard time in this game. My opponent resolve just got Evolution. And they have a lot of powerful spells in their deck. It kind of sucks that like my counter spells are only temporary, so I kind of needed to have their life total be a little lower at this point. Like if their hot life total is like 6 at this point, I feel like I could finish the game, or 8 maybe. But I don't know. I think that the key term was when I tapped out and they resulted Tablet of Discovery, but still kind of a new innovation in these Jeskai decks. I'm not like completely familiar with this play pattern. It's another Jeskai Revelation. Yeah, that's a bit rough. Alright. I mean, I'll play the Puppets tap in the Monk. Oh, Riddler. Hoping it doesn't get countered, but I have mana for Normalize. Yeah. I wish I could spell snipe, but I can't. It's fine. So, okay. Sky Conductor is not the worst. Oh. I'm not totally unsure how Prepare exactly works, but it doesn't work under High Noon as far as I understand it. I'll show attack with plot pieces are honestly. Like, I'm kind of okay with these trades. May have been an error. It's kind of rough. They also have the Great Hold of Babelplax. Like, that card is pretty good. Under the High Noon. Because they don't have that much mana. Like, they don't have that much mana to spend on spells. So this is kind of like a second spell, quote unquote. Which obviously is valuable. Especially when I'm at 4 life. It's not a lot of life. Yeah, and this is perhaps the reason why I should have created on my turn. I'm gonna kill the Great Hole. Go to 2. So Lightning Helix is lethal at any point now. Yep, stuck. It's kind of wrong. I'm very confused. How did these get counters? It's something I would ask to chat because I'm really confused. Well, just tell me in the comments because I really don't know. Why do these have +1/+1 counters on them? Oh, they got lost. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Got it. I figured it out. All right. I guess I don't want to lose the Aang. Obviously, I'm dead to Lightning Helix at any stage of the game, and I just got Revelation and Inevitable Defeat, so I kind of need to gain some life. Can I gain some life somehow? I mean, that's not possible, right? I have Beza. I have one of Beza, so I can draw one of Beza and get in line with that. Okay, Aven Interrupter is pretty good. I'm just gonna attack with this one. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? I feel like I have to play this. Obviously, if they have Revelation or Helix, I just lose, but I feel like I'm not gonna beat this even with the Aven Interrupter. Like, they can just play it end step, I play Aven Interrupter, and then they kill me, so... Maybe I should be more mindful of my life total. This is definitely more close than I thought it'd be. I feel like it was, in the end, kind of close. I do want Flesh Freeze. It's against the tablet. A lot of the cards they played are red, which I can't counter Inevitable Defeat, but I do like this. I think Get Lost is bad. Voice of Victor definitely good. Avatar's Wrath definitely bad. Brandon Ascension is not good. Blood Prisoner is pretty bad. I think Beza, even though I said it would have been good in this game, I think it's bad. So I could also do the Hamlet. I think the Mistrise is a bit scary. So I think I'll do Hamlet for it. I can cut some white sources, I believe. I did cut some white cards. So the question is, do I want a Riddler? Do I want Spectacular Tactics? I want Pyrrhic Strike. And these are the only options. The 1/1 counter on target creature was run against Hexproof until end of turn. Seems kind of good. I'll put him one down there. All right, let's do it this way. So I forgot to move my camera. Yeah. Play first. I do like Voice of Victory. So I'm always throwing this Anchorage. I'm playing one. I'm playing one Anchorage and I draw it both times. That's pretty good. Okay, I was just banking Voice of Victory being broken here, but maybe I'm wrong about that. He's probably gonna die now, but I have a replacement. Opponent's tank, and maybe they don't have the Lightning Helix. Okay. So I will attack, and yeah, I'll play second voice. Why not? It's a lot of pressure, honestly. Like it's kind of like a 3/3 for 2, right? Well, roll Watch Wolf. Definitely want to shock myself. They could have Seam Rip. They could have the tablet. I don't really care about my own life total. So definitely attack for 6. And the question is, what next? Do I want to warp this Riddler? I think I'd rather have the fluff this Drowner man up. I feel like this is a turn where I could get Sweeper. Like, I don't know if they play Dire Judgment. Seems kind of hard to cast in their deck, but could have it. Alright, Lightning Helix is gonna buy them a lot of time. I'll play the Flood Bits. And I think I'm just gonna go for second voice. Let's take my first one. I think having 3 colors, it seems less likely to have a sweeper. More likely to have something like Lightning Helix on Breath of the Wheel. So I am 479. Couple damage short. I'm just gonna warp this, draw 2. And then ideally I draw like Spellcaller or a Aven. But I didn't draw those. One's at 5, and I have... Yeah, if they have Wrath, I have not enough. But again, I don't think that they have any Wrath effect. Yeah. And I have exactly 8 on Wrath. Alright, this is exactly how I want the games to go, right? I just want to present a lot of pressure. That's not what happened game 1. Makes me think I want more of these Flood Bits. Well, the Flood Bits is kind of a bad card. I don't know. Could also see cutting the High Noon. I think it's a bit worse against my opponent's deck, but I think my Cyberling is fine. Okay, we do have the Voice of Victory again. And I also think that the Aven Air Temple is very good in this matchup. So I want to start with this, because this comes to play tap. All my other lands come to play on tap. And I will play the Voice of Victory. This is unlikely a counterspell mana, but more likely a Lightning Helix mana. Okay, well, knew that was gonna happen, but now my opponent's tapped out. This enters on tap. Okay. Just want to make sure. Definitely pass. I don't know what I'll do if my opponent just passes with 4 mana. Kinda wouldn't mind them playing a tablet. And I think I have to go for this. Okay, so they don't have anything. I'll name Anaquella. Oh, sorry, not Anaquella, Mistress Village. Anaquella, that's a different deck, I remember now. Okay, I'll play Hainu now. What's gonna be about a half? Well, I better flooded, my guess. Insects proof. Right, I'm just gonna cover this. I want to keep my Sky Coach Conductor alive. Alright, I think this could be just game, honestly. Like, I'm gonna have a lot of these flicker effects. Wanna flicker? That's how do we call these? I don't know. I'm plotting. What is the term for whatever these two creatures do? I guess just sparkler effects, maybe? Well, I don't think that's quite right. Let's just do another one. I mean, I have them all aboard, so that is another one. Alright, I mean, this is how the deck is supposed to work, right? If you stick High Noon and then your opponent stops playing the game. Simple as that. Alright, GG. Alright, no High Noon. Slightly unfortunate. But I do have double voice of victory. I feel like this is one of the weaker hands I could have with this deck. Do I want to keep? I think I might ask the mulligan. I knew Voice of Victory was going to be specifically good in this matchup. I might keep, but I'm mulligan. This hand is not much better, but I guess in fact split first. But I feel like the risk of going down to 5 is sometimes too big. Like if I had the previous hand on 6 cards, I'm definitely keeping, right? Hopefully Avatar's Wrath is good in this matchup, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be the best. Let's pull up this Slick Shot. Alright, I am gonna be digging towards this High Noon. Of course, no other play, so I'm free to play this Riddler. Not the best start. We'll see if we can claw our way back. Hopefully we don't take infinite damage here. It's a nice start for my opponent, obviously not for us. It's gonna be a rough one. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going to pass. Going to play Aang Swift Savior. Hoping to trade with this Slick Shot show off. And then I will Avatar's Wrath, the tokens. I guess I'm gonna try and kill this one, and then I'm gonna block. Ooh, no spells for my opponent, wow. Alright, well, that's just took a... This game just took a turn. Let's attack this Kai Coach. And I could just Sky Coach the Aang right away. I don't hate it. I just don't want anything bad to happen to my Aang. So I don't want to give my opponent the opportunity. Obviously, I could have a better option than just killing the token, but I feel like my opponent, I don't know, draws like... Could even draw. I mean, some versions play the... Not called Wild Outburst, but I guess this would have been really nice to hold it up. Ooh, Flow State not even active. Interesting. No sorceries. Sorry, no instants. Plenty of sorceries. Alright, I mean, I'm just gonna jam my Riddler. What else do I do here? I wanna hold up too much mana. And getting a 4-6 beater into play seems pretty good. Do have Get Lost in case my opponent goes for level 3 of the talent, which is exactly what happened. So, absolutely lovely. So I am definitely using Get Lost. The thing I'm considering is, do I attack with the Restless Anchorage or do I keep it back? Potentially to block or to have more Get Lost. If I do attack with it, this is going to be a 2-turn clock. Well, I do kind of have a 2-turn clock. Anyway, I think I want to hold up to Get Lost, honestly. So, don't kill the wrong one. Yes, we did. I mean, I attack for 6 this turn. Next turn, I attack for 8. So, I feel like there's a chance if I attack with everything, my opponent could play Slick Shot and play, what is it, 4 spells and just kill me. And I do want to avoid that. Bouncing this one, interesting. Alright, that's fine, I guess. Not much I can do about that. I think I'm gonna get lost in response to the map. Hopefully I don't see secret identity, so we dodge that. Oh my god, that's so unfortunate to not get the instant the whole game. No ops, no burst lightnings, and that's just game. Wow, I really didn't expect that game to go this well on turn 3 when I was at... What was my life? Like 12? My opponent had 3 creatures in play, I had nothing. But I think this matchup is supposed to be quite good for this blue-white deck. Obviously, High Noon is great against a deck that is trying to play as many instances of sorceries in one turn as possible. Don't think I'm Petrified Hamlet here. I do like the Beza. Don't know if I want Annul. I think not. Maybe Seamrip is good. Spell Snare seems kind of iffy. So I think I'll just bring in Seamrip. I'm not sure I want the second one. I mean, it's might be better than Urban Ascension. We'll go. I'm trying to figure out if my opponent has like Enigma Crab. Probably, from what I've seen, it could be Enigma Crab. But my opponent is a Max Rappaport, who is quite a good player. Had him on one of the Metro Breakdown series. It's my Dimir midrange opponent. So no longer playing Dimir midrange. That's good for him. I kind of think I want the C-Map on the draw. I don't know what's the worst card. I'm just gonna take out the Centurion. But fully ready to accept it might be a wrong decision. Happy to play against Prowess. I always, I played usually 3 matches in these videos, so I like to play against the tier 1 decks to show the real potential of the deck. Definitely keeping this. I just don't know what I want to bottom. Still no High Noon. I'm really sad about that. It's really unfortunate. So what do we bottom here? Is it Get Lost? Is it Fluff-Based Drowner? I think those are my options. I think I just bottom Get Lost. But really unsure about that. Not sure how this stop happened. But ooh, now that's a draw I can get behind. So hopefully the shields will be down and I'll be able to land the High Noon on turn 2. So I'm like crossing fingers that I see a plotted like shot show if they'll be amazing here. Okay, unplotted, slightly worse, but nonetheless we do get the High Noon on the board and that's pretty big. Obviously High Noon can be temporarily answered by Boomerang Basics here, so it will force us to lose some life. That is kind of bad. I mean, I feel like if I play the High Noon and there's another bounce spell, I'm pretty dead. But if I don't play High Noon and my opponent has Boomerang Basics, I'm also quite dead. So I'm just gonna play the High Noon, hoping to take like what 5 damage here, dodging a spell. That's a pretty good spell. Not sure I'll be able to come back from that spell. But maybe. I mean, if I draw a land, I can do Voice of Victory and then Fluff-Based Drowner, the 6-shot show off. Still, the Ra is going to be tough to beat. Definitely tough to beat. And obviously, the High Noon is great, but there's always the potential of Boomerang Basics coming down now, and then that's going to unlock my opponent. Really need to dodge the Boomerang Basics here. Alright, it's not ideal.
New world requires new strategy.
I mean, I can block. I need to pressure the Ral somehow, but if this is a burst lighting, I don't think I can. I mean, winning the game, this game is going to be very, very hard. I'm just going to play this Sky Coach, and then I'll be trying to flicker the flat bits on my opponent's turn. It's just game. No. It is a game mode, but it has literally anything. I'm going to just all aboard the flat bits and. Okay, well, this means I go to 1. The game still seems very hard to win. I mean, I need to roll a House Ref, I think, because my only out. And I mean, then I'll be at 2 life, so at any point, Burst Lightning just ends the game. And I'm just dead. Yeah, I'm just dead. Okay. The high noon was drawn, but failed to slow down opponent. Maybe Beza was out there, but that's fine. Look at the next one. All right, game 3. Hopefully we get no mulligan this time, and high noon turn 2 would be nice. Not high noon turn 2, but I like the hand. Decent enough. I think Voice of Victory is quite good in this matchup. 3 toughness is a lot. Stopping my opponent from playing on my turn is pretty good. Always happy to not see Storm Chester style on turn 1. And I think I just played a high noon. I mean, my deck is called High Noon, so it seems just smart to do it. And now I think I just want to hold up the Aven Interrupter, interrupt whatever they are trying to do there. I mean, I'm just trying to honor Boomerang Basics, because if that happens, my opponent is soft locked, I guess. I'm happy to take a few damage from this. I guess just countering anything is solid at this point. Especially if my opponent doesn't have a land. Alright, so let me think a little bit. I think I do want to do the Voice of Victory. Just pile more pressure. This will let my opponent resolve the flow state, but that's just I mean, I think that's a reasonable concession. It's going to be really hard to win from that spot. I have enough pressure now, and my opponent is lacking lands. All right, GG, this deck's great. All right, the round 3, and we do have double high noon. I thought for some reason this was a high noon as well, but obviously I'm keeping this hand. This is a great hand. Any hand with double high noon is my friend. Alright, don't get around over here, hopefully. Gonna try and land high noon. It should stop my poor, probably prowess opponent. I mean, it could be, okay, this prowess. And I really do like seeing this Plottin. Which usually I feel like against Hollow Fountain, you would think that you are playing against like a Sky Control probably. Or maybe the Momo deck. And against a lot of these decks, you just want to plot the Slick Shot. But against this specific deck, I think that is going to hurt your chances. Because this is what happens, right? Now my opponent can't play any more spells. I also feel like maybe they haven't realized that. It feels kind of weird to just run the Slick Shot there. I will take 2 damage this turn, that's fine. I am heavily considering just playing a second 9 in here. I think I'll do it. Like, I'm not under that much pressure. Like, I'm going to take 5. Hopefully next turn I draw a land so I can go Voice of Victory and get lost. Or Flop Piece Drowner. Luckily, I'm not under much pressure, so I feel I can afford to replay the Heinen. Alright. Alright. I think I'm just gonna play Aang. My opponent is incentivized to play a spell before blocks, or I mean, not before blocks, but before damage for sure. I think I'm just gonna run out of Aang, kill the otter, and try to eat the otter. This is bad against Get Out. That's like one card I'm kind of ridden, but I don't think that's a common card to be played in these Prowess decks. It's a fringe card somewhat, like some versions will play it. I'm hoping my opponent doesn't, and clearly they are not. They could play Secret Identity here, but that's fine. I'm just gonna eat Elusive Otter, take a bunch of damage. And again, I'm hoping to draw a... Definitely blocking here. I'm hoping to draw a land. Could be Secret Identity to trade here, I guess. But I think that's fine. I mean, I have the Floodbits Runner. I think I'll use it. Quantum Riddler not the best draw at this point. I'm just tapping the Slick Shot here before they get back the Secret Identity. And if they attack, I'm just gonna block. Like, they can play the Secret Identity to force the trade. Or, like, I mean, force the trade for the Secret Identity. That's what I mean. I'll just pass. And play Quantum Riddler. Oh, sorry. I keep calling Aang Quantum Riddler. Oh, sorry. For some reason, I don't know why I say that. I'm not playing Quantum Riddler in this turn. I'm playing Aang's Savior. Most likely. I mean, I could change my mind if something weird happens, but this is kind of a strange game. I feel like I'm supposed to win, but could also lose. If this is happening, I'm just gonna play this Gut Lost. I mean, also, I think I forgot to attack last turn, which was a bit... Nah, I mean, I had 1 mana for the Secret Identity. Maybe it's fine then. Now I definitely want to attack. I'm pretty happy if they trade. It's possible I just want to play Voice of Victory here. Just to get more attacks in. I do need to kind of start pressuring my opponent because I don't have great answers to the Slick Shot right now. So the Slick Shot pressure will eventually get me, right? Like, also this plus this is kind of a problem. I don't know if I'll play this game right. Like, I'm, you know, still learning how this deck works. I'm not gonna claim I'm great pilot of this deck, that's for sure. Alright, Floodbits Drowner is a good draw. I'm gonna play my voice. Already gonna block. Alright, no blocks. I think I'm gonna just not tap the Slickshot Jaw off. I kind of want to tap it and step. And then maybe shuffle it away. Ideally, they play sorcery here. Like sleight of hand would be perfect, and I just get to flood with that. That'd be awesome. I get to flood with that, I mean. Okay. So this gets... It's gonna be 5/5 flying and vigilance. I think that's okay. I'll still just tap the Slickshot. We draw a land, I was gonna say. Could cook with Aang, but this is also fine. I mean, I'm definitely gonna play this. I just wanted to add more pressure to the board. But I think this is winning. I can play only one spell this turn, and I get to basically blind this Elusive Order. And I'm not in a big danger of dying to the Slickshot, because next turn I can also just play the Riddler as a blocker, and I have the Aang as a blocker, so I think this game is about to be locked up. The Floodbeast Droner was a huge draw. Just plays well into the, like, you know, this deck is somewhat of a tempo. Like, I guess it's kind of a prison deck as well, the High Noon, but even once you get the High Noon down, you kind of need to muster some action and kill your opponent somewhat quickly, because, of course, they could just kill you playing one spell a turn, even though it's much harder. Alright, and that's game. Let's get this out of here. And attack. And I came in High Noon. Alright, this Prowess matchup seems pretty good. I mean, underdogs are going to be a bit harder, but with the base, I think I kind of like the Urban Ascension. I just don't want to get swarmed. I don't know how good Avatar Sraf is. It's definitely a card I could potentially see cutting. I think Riddler might be good. I'll just do it this way. I don't know if the flickering Riddler with the Sky Coach is a real possibility. Like, how often is that gonna happen? But I do feel like this deck is pretty strong. Like, this is the third match. I feel like I've been winning relatively easily. Might be a very good choice against Is It Menace. And Is It still, you know, Is Prowess still continues to be a dominant deck in Standard. It was the most played deck at Spotlight London this weekend. I would guess it might be the most played deck at the American RC. We'll see. I mean, the deck is very strong, powerful. There's also a lot of ways to build that deck, which I feel like that's like a good thing for players. That means, you know, player can be like, oh my god, I broke it with my build, right? I changed 5 cards, and now I made it much, much better. And I feel like players can easily convince themselves to play a deck like that. Well, in other archetypes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure you could like change 5 cards in this archetype, because a lot of the things do seem to be pretty set in stone. Besides the bigger hand, no High Noon. And overall, I do not love being on a draw. I feel like you can just get swarmed pretty easily with these Prowess decks. But I do have interaction. Voice of Victory again, quite good in this matchup, I believe. But Blizzard Round also seems super solid. Of course, the second Critical Conqueror, not the best draw. And my mana base could also be better. So I think I'm just going to play Voice of Victory. It's going to make my opponent's life a little bit harder. And wow, they just played this untapped. Didn't do anything. Could be Burst Lightning, although I mean, Burst Lightning doesn't do much against my deck, which is possible my opponent just doesn't know that, right? Like, we're not playing open deck lists here. And this deck is not like the most well-known deck in the whole format, right? So that's pretty bad. Kinda need to draw something good here. Which, I mean, land is pretty good because Aang Aang is okay in a spot like this. I'm just going to attack. Yeah, this is looking bad, I gotta say. I'm just gonna flop this Drowner. Try to trade it for an Otter. Hopefully there's not that many non-creature spells to trigger the Prowess. But yeah, this game's not looking good. I didn't draw any of my lands in the first 3 draw steps. And now I'm just under a lot of pressure, although, I mean, my opponent's at 13 life. They shrug themselves twice. This voice of victory attacks for a decent amount of damage. We'll see how big these others. Oh my god, that's really bad. Yes, like maybe can get lost this, but it's not good. I'm gonna take 9. I mean, this just feels unwinnable. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I mean, I feel like no matter what I do, I just lose. So let's assume my opponent has no spells. Is it better to do this or the flood bits? I think under the assumption my opponent literally has 4 lands in hand now and 5th one on top of the deck. I feel like this play is better. Because if I draw a white source for the Aang, I could actually live next turn, pretty sure. And I think I just have to play around. I think if I do get lost and I take 9, my opponent can basically like scry on top of their deck. Or Serval, I guess. And make their draws a bit better. I would also take a little more damage and I do this way. I would put a lot less pressure on the board. Obviously, I'm denying a draw, my opponent, but again, I feel like I just need to get the hyper lucky here. And also, I still should be working on the assumption my opponent has the Burst Lightning. So I highlighted on turn 2, but I don't think I can ever beat that, so yeah. I go to 3. So again, if my opponent doesn't have anything they can play, I need to draw a white source, which I didn't. I'm just dead. If it didn't have anything, I drew white source. Maybe I can like finance this game somehow with Aang, but I still think it's probably doomed. I want this. I don't think so. I'll just go resubmit. Play first, and we have High Noon. You keep. I mean, I feel like the lands have not been super cooperative in these last couple of games. I always just have like 2 lands. I mean, that's like a little bit of an issue with these decks that literally don't have any card selection, right? It's kind of hard to print Mana Screw or Mana Flood. If you have opt-in Sleight of Hand in your deck, it's much easier to do that. Alright, High Noon. No counter, please. That is a Spell Pierce. Alright, hopefully we get the second one. Would have loved to see a land, of course. As is, I could play the High Noon. If my opponent has a Spell Pierce, I am pretty cooked. They could also have, let's check, you know, use the Magic Arena attack to check. I'm just gonna jam it. Like, I don't feel second Spell Pierce is that that likely. And I just want to have the card on the board, you know. Right, so they shocked again and did nothing with the mana again, so once again, Burst Lightning is a real possibility here. And I feel like this is okay. If they have Boomerang Basics here, I'm just gonna replay the High Noon. And they don't have a big board enough to pressure me for a lot of damage, so this gives us some time to draw out of the Mana Screw. Perfect. I can cast all my spells, and this game is looking great. And now I feel like I'm in a spot where it's going to be quite hard to lose. We'll see. We'll see if I find a way, but I feel pretty confident here. I'm just going to take 1. If they play something, I'm just gonna Aang. On the elusive order, definitely. I don't mind taking 2. They counterplay this, so that's pretty amazing. I just attack whatever they play. I Aven Interrupter, and my opponent sees it right on the wall. Yeah, this deck is annoying to play against. Sometimes you just know you're kind of cooked, especially this game where, you know, I was not making land drops, so my opponent knows I have a bunch of non-lands. And yeah, I don't know. I'll have a card. All right, thanks for watching.